Lord. So I thought I would come to my favourite old church. This is St Mary's at Stainburn. I'm not sure it's still used as a church. I think it might be. But it's a historic church. Kept going by a conservation trust. And it's a great place to preach, really, because I've seen a few things and I've started plugging a few things together. And I think it's time I said something. So a few days ago, I got a message there somewhere on the screen. I've no idea what it said because it disappeared. A few days ago, the Tories, Kenny Badenoch, or was it Robert Jenrick, or some other bloody Tory, got a bunch of Tories together and they wrote a letter to the Prime Minister, to Keir, and they said, it's time we recognised the two-state solution and we recognised Palestine. Which is a phenomenal thing to say, given that Israel has offered the two-state solution somewhere between 4 and 6 times, and every time has been rejected. And what's the reason why it's been rejected? It's because if the Palestinians accept a two-state solution, they would have to accept that Israel exists. And they don't want to do that. They really don't want to do that. So this is the position of the white upper class, thinking that they can impose their ways on others. The solution can only be found by Israel and whatever you want to call those Arab areas. Gaza, West Bank, Judea, Samaria, Palestine, Jordan, whatever you bloody want. Michael English, you see Gaza as a car park in the end? Well, I mean, it was apparently an absolutely beautiful place. It was rich and green and fantastic. And then Hamas came in. I was like, yeah, okay. So we got some problems with some of these people in the UK who think that they can impose themselves and go, this is how it's going to be. And frankly, we should keep our fucking noses out of it. There's been some other stuff that's been going on recently. We've had a fire at Keir Starmer's house. We've had a fire in a car, which apparently is connected to Keir Starmer. We've had a fire at another place that is connected to Keir Starmer. And it turns out that this is the same type of reporting by the government, by the media, as what happened on the 29th of July last year. It was a 21-year-old man that has been arrested. That is it. No information, no ethnicity, no ideology. At least we know that counter-terrorism is involved. So, I mean, this is the British Prime Minister that is being targeted. That is an issue. No matter how much you might dislike two-tier queer, he is the democratically elected Prime Minister of the United Kingdom. Frankly, if we're going to have reform in power, we need the next 3 or 4 years to build up that base to be able to get reform in power and get people who are actually potentially good as parliamentarians. But what else has been happening? Let's go down this little rabbit trail. Let's go down it. What else has been happening? We've had regular violence against businesses, banks, insurance companies, food establishments, military establishments. They've all been targeted. They've all had their places smashed up, glass smashed, paint strewn all over them. They've had people jumping onto their roofs and removing all of their roofing and all the like. So it's actually getting quite violent. Hooliganism, thuggery. We have attacks in the streets on protests. As soon as the protesters see one person, 2 people who seem to be from the opposite end of their spectrum, they can't handle it. You have protests where somebody's being a bit bad and the police decide they have to go in. And the police get surrounded and obstructed from doing their job. You've got artwork being ruined. You've got statues being smashed and ruined. You have random little protests just popping up somewhere by some random group, blocking the roads. You have racist and anti-Semitic hate being shouted and chanted. You have inciting of violence against individuals and certain groups. You've got chants for genocide and ethnic cleansing. You've got people that are supporting terrorist organisations. They're begging for money illegally on the streets, pretending that they're collecting for charities when actually they're funding terrorists. We've got machete attacks going on. We've got attacks on women. We've got people attempting to kidnap children outside schools and anywhere and everywhere. We've got child grooming gangs. And there's probably a lot more. Probably a lot more. But is it the incels? Is it Satan? Is it the far right? Is it the bankers? No, it's Hong Kong Phooey, #1 super guy. Being serious, it's the lefties and the people that we're allowing into our country that shouldn't be here. Those lefties, they are the #1 terror, main terror threat in the UK, in Europe, in Sweden. It's absolute madness. But where does all this come from? Why is it so emotional? What is going on? And there is, anybody that saw that pseudo Spider-Man gangster video that I did, there is a huge lack of stoicism in this country at the moment. So many of these young men, middle-aged men, have no stoicism. They're just consumed by their emotions. They act on their emotions. They have no emotional intelligence whatsoever. They're unable to control themselves. They're unable to speak and converse with somebody that disagrees with their point of view. They have to get aggressive, which is weakness, which is also dangerous. This is the bit, where Jordan Peterson turns around and he goes, men have to have the capacity to be a monster. They also have to have the wherewithal and the knowledge and the experience to control that monster at all times, except in the most dire of circumstances. And that's where protection of women and children come in. You let people get on with their lives, you let them do stuff, but when the shit hits the fan, you've got to be able to deal with it. So where has this lack of stoicism come from? And as far as I'm concerned, it is a lack of good male role models. It's the lack of the good old British stiff upper lip. You know, that spirit, that understanding that the rest of the world has got of what British people are like. Stoic, getting on with things, not being emotional. So this emotionality, for me, this comes from people nowadays not having had anyone in their lives implement discipline, principles, law, order, personal responsibility, and that you take full accountability for everything that you do. You are personally responsible for every single breath, every single step. You have to think about everything at all times. Then you have a drink, and it's like, I fucked up that night, didn't I? So this emotional toddler-like, what do you call it, narcissism, maybe, it seems to be endemic in our society, and it's throughout every part of society, and these people have actually got themselves to the pinnacle of running parts of our society, like the police, the justice system, all the way through our kids' lives, everybody that is looking after them at all times lacks the concepts of discipline and principles and stoicism, and basically treats all boys as if they're little girls. Oh, are you all right? How are you feeling today? Would you like to talk about it? Oh, and when that person did that, what did that feel like? Go fuck yourselves, all of you. Little boys don't think like that. Lads don't think like that. Men and boys do not ruminate on shit. That's not what men do. They take the lesson, they learn from it, and they move on. It's why therapy doesn't really work for men. They won't turn up, they won't go for therapy. Men need time to consider things themselves, go off on their own, do shit. But again, where's it come from? Well, there are some little hints. Kemi Badenoch, our great Tory leader, she claimed in February that 90% of prisoners grew up without a father. I have no idea where she got that number from. I know in the United States it's around about 80%. PA Media claim that they found a study that says 53% of male prisoners grew up without a father. But they also said 76% of young offenders had an absent father. So what's the solution to this? I mean, everybody suddenly goes, "Ooh, everybody should be getting married. You're not allowed to have children outside of marriage." No, bullshit. Absolute fucking bullshit. I do not advocate marriage. At all. Marriage disappeared around about 1982. 10 years after the pill came in, and women realised, oh, fuck this shit. This is crap. So marriages fell apart. They're not very good. They don't work. People aren't meant to be monogamous and singly with one other person for the whole of their lives, no matter what the bloody religions tell you. So I've never married. I've had 2 kids. I actually brought them both up. And I was ever present in their lives. It takes sacrifice. It affects your career. But I wouldn't change it. Wouldn't change it for the bloody world. But the outside world, the rest of the world, it has changed. So I've got a couple of messages here about children and fatherhood and pregnancy and shagging. The first message is to men. Stop shagging women, getting them pregnant and then running away. You fucking dickheads. You have to be involved in your kids' lives. And that's for the whole of their upbringing. And you've got to teach them truly good masculine traits. And if you don't have any, go and join the Ukrainian army and get annihilated by fucking Russia. Something like that. Or alternatively, buy Aaron Clary's online course, The Father You Never Had. He'll teach you. So once you've got some of those masculine traits, and I'm not talking toxic masculinity because this gender fucking feminist, Marxist, far left bullshit that has overtaken our fucking worlds, decided that it's got to be a zero-sum game and all boys are fucking shit and should never have been born, and who needs fucking boys and men anyway because they're wankers. So no, toxic masculinity is not what's required, because that's what comes from emotional men who do not have the good traits of masculinity within them. So you need to instill virtues, you need to instill principles. You can't let kids think that the fucking world revolves around them at all times. So that was to the men. Fucking grow up. Get a pair. Grab a Snickers. And to the women. Stop shagging bad boys. Stop it. Jesus Christ. Make damn sure your kids have got a good father. saw an article today. I think it was in the Daily Mail. So you can't actually fully take everything that the Daily Mail says truthfully. So maybe take this with a pinch of salt. Well, this article in the Daily Mail today said, in the last 3 years in the UK, 29 women prison officers have been struck off from their career. They've either just been kicked out or they've gone to prison themselves. They've been struck off, 29, for having affairs with inmates at their prison. What the fuck? What the hell is going on in our society? I don't get it. So and the other bit is we really need to stop importing people into our country that don't have any of our values, don't understand anything about our culture. People that want to beat the shit out of women and children. I saw another video today. It was on Twitter, you know, and it was a guy out in some desert type area, and he's stood in the middle of the road, and there's a little lad next to him, and this guy had a big plank of wood, and he suddenly grabs this burqa-clad woman by the head, pulls her down, slams her onto the ground, and whacks her with this piece of wood right on her backside. And then as she's getting up, he kicks her in the backside, and she runs off down the road. And just 10 yards away, there's a woman in a garden area of a house. It was only a rural sort of cottage type place. And she didn't even look up. She turned her back and she walked around and she went and got some water from the water pump. Is that the type of people that we want to import into our country? These people who will refuse to integrate? Fuck that shit. We've got to get rid of these people from our society. They're not going to change. They've already gone past, was it Aristotle's age of 7 or whatever it was? Was it Aristotle? Was it somebody else? I don't know who said it. Give me a child until the age of 7 and I will give you the man. You can indoctrinate kids and then that stuff sticks. Oh, I know psychiatrists say, oh yeah, I can sort you out. You need to sit you down, just lie down, and let's talk about your childhood. And I don't know that it ever actually does anything, except teaches people how to hide whatever it is that's their problem. So we might actually have some major problems for our country, because so many people who are now adults, teenagers going into adults, middle-aged adults, have been brought up without any virtues, without any principles, without the ability to take personal responsibility. Always looking for somebody else to blame. And I don't know how the culture changes if all these people suddenly become parents. And then how do they treat their kids? What is it that they teach them? Because they won't have any of the traits that are required for being a good parent. So I'm getting a bit morose here. I'm not sure what the answer is, other than change the government education curriculum bringing people from boxing clubs and military academies to make sure that boys from the age of 4 or 5 get regular exercise and develop certain traits, like being smashed in the face with somebody else's fist and realizing sometimes you can't win, and it's best to start talking rather than putting your jukes up. So we've got to get rid of these people as far as I'm concerned. Deport or exile, I don't care which. Got to get a law in place that says people who come here are not allowed to relinquish their other nationality. We always have to have the ability to go, yeah, you've proven yourself to be a piece of shit and we don't want you here anymore. So you are going back to whatever shithole you fucking came from. Don't let them in. Would be really nice, but everybody's been taught how to hide themselves in society nowadays. Everybody. Anyhow, I do like this lovely little beautiful church. It's very old. It's out in the middle of nowhere. Maybe I'll take you for a little wander. Take you for a little wander outside. I'll just put some of my crap away. I'll let you have a look at this place. Because it is rather beautiful. Who's speaking of cold tea, Bond? What you talking about, Willis? You Americans have seen this place before. Now, if I had some cash, I could buy some nice jam. Full berry jam, blueberry orange. But I don't have any cash. It is stunning here, gotta say. And it's quiet and serene. Sandy, it was quiet and serene until I showed up. It's very true. Very true. It's all beautifully overgrown with all these ferns and blueberries. It's not blueberries, bluebells, not blueberries. I'm thinking of that jam again, aren't I? That jam looks like it will go lovely on some crumpets with a nice hot tea. You're right, Parsons. Am I coming in and out, in and out, in and out? Keep getting messages. Nerdy, I can pay with my soul. Pay for my jam to go on my crumpets and scones with my soul. Yeah, a historic church from the Churches Conservation Trust. This is St Mary of Stainburn. And the sun is going down over the hill. Now, I do wonder if the bell gets used. I wonder if they've got a different way of ringing it, because the bell rope that's inside the chapel is actually broken. So I'm not sure at all. At all. Oh, I couldn't go back. I couldn't go over there because I was losing signal. Climb up and fix it. Yeah, right. Yeah. Right, I'm going to get out of here. I think I keep losing signal because I put my fat body in the way of my router. Thank you very much, Hotel Mick. I'm glad you enjoyed my last few videos. Don't take everything I say as absolute gospel, though. I am known for talking shit quite often. Right. Thank you very much, everybody. I'm going to sign off. Need to get back on my bike. Go and get some grub. It's not Spain, Colin, it's Yorkshire, North Yorkshire. Beautiful, stunning spring evening with the birds making shitloads of noise in the trees. Bond says he's never known me to be wrong. You'll set Nerdy off, I'm telling you, you'll set him off. Right, I'm out of here. Thank you very much, everybody, for watching. I hope my preaching wasn't too bland and boring from the pulpit. And I will see you all soon. Laters.